We all know that keeping track of every single receipt and travel expense can feel like a full-time job on its own. Zoho has been providing business solutions for a long time, and they got you covered in your expenses too. Yes, we're talking about Zoho Expense here. It's their dedicated expense management solution, especially for small to mid-sized businesses. So today, we are diving deep into how Zoho Expense automates your entire reporting workflow to keep your finances organized and accurate. Moving right along into the actual functionality, let's start with how we manage business travel through the Trips module. When we look at the way modern businesses handle travel, it is usually a mess of back and forth emails, but Zoho Expense changes that by centralizing everything. We can start by creating a trip request where we input the destination, the purpose of the travel, and the expected dates. What makes this really useful is that we can include flight and hotel preferences right in the initial request. Once we submit this, it goes straight to the designated manager for approval. The system allows us to set up hierarchical or custom approval flows, so if a trip exceeds a certain budget, it can automatically be routed to a higher-level executive. After the trip is approved, we can use the platform to book travel through integrations or simply keep all our itineraries in one spot. This creates a clear digital paper trail from the moment the trip is planned until the traveler returns home. By having all these details pre-approved, it makes the final expense reporting phase much faster because the system already knows which expenses are linked to which specific business trip. Building on that travel foundation, we need to talk about the core of the software, which is the expenses section. This is where the automation really shines because we no longer have to manually type in every single line item from a crumpled receipt. We can simply use a photo of a receipt and the advanced auto scan feature takes over. It uses OCR technology to read the merchant name, the date, the total amount, and even the currency. It supports over a dozen languages, so if we are traveling internationally, it handles those foreign receipts just as easily. Beyond just scanning photos, we can forward digital receipts from our email directly to a unique forwarding address provided by Zoho. Once those receipts hit the system, they are automatically converted into expense entries. We also have the flexibility to itemize expenses, which is great if we have a single receipt that covers both a business meal and personal items. We can also track mileage for those of us who spend a lot of time on the road. We can enter the start and end points, or even use the GPS on a smartphone to track the distance in real time, ensuring our mileage claims are accurate and compliant with tax regulations. Now, once we have all those individual expenses recorded, the next logical step is gathering them into reports. We don't want a bunch of loose digital receipts floating around. We need them organized into a professional document for reimbursement. We can manually select our expenses and add them to a report. The reporting side is also where we maintain control over our company policies. When we submit a report, the approver gets a clear view of everything, including any policy violations that might need a second look. If everything looks good, they can approve it with one click. This gives us a bird's-eye view of our spending habits, helping us identify areas where we might be able to cut costs or negotiate better rates with frequent vendors. Speaking of spending, there are many times when we need to handle money before an expense even happens, and that is where the Advances module comes in. For small businesses, giving an employee a cash advance for a trip can be a headache to track, but we can manage that entire process here. An employee can submit an advance request explaining why they need the funds, and once approved, the admin records the payment. This money then sits in the employee's digital wallet within the software. When the employee eventually goes on their trip and starts recording expenses, they can apply that advance to their final report. This is a very clean way to handle the math, because the system automatically calculates how much of the advance was spent and if any remaining balance that needs to be returned to the company. It eliminates the confusion of trying to remember who owes what at the end of the month. We can see a full history of all advances given and how they were utilized, which keeps our petty cash and travel funds completely transparent and easy to audit. Beyond cash advances, many of us use business credit cards, so let's look at how Zoho handles cards. We can connect our corporate or personal cards directly to the platform, and it will automatically pull in all the transaction data. This is a huge time saver because it matches our swiped transactions with the receipts we've already scanned. If a transaction shows up on the card but doesn't have a matching receipt, the system will nudge us to upload one. For the administrators, the reconciliation process is very straightforward. We can view the statements side by side with our recorded expenses to make sure that everything lines up perfectly. We can also set up feeds for multiple cards across different departments, giving us a unified view of all corporate spending in real time. Essentially, we found that Zoho Expense is a powerful, user-friendly solution that takes the stress out of financial management. It's perfect for small businesses that want to scale without getting buried in paperwork. If you're ready to automate your receipts and simplify your reporting, give their free trial a look. Let us know in the comments how you currently track your expenses, and don't forget to subscribe for more business tech reviews.